When most people hear Medellin, they think of the bustling city in Colombia. But there's more than one Medellin on the map. Today, we're heading to a much quieter place, Medellin, Spain. Tucked away in the rugged region of Extremadura, this small town is the birthplace of one of history's most controversial and consequential figures. In this video, we'll be telling the brief story of Hernan Cortés, the man who brought down an empire. The man who would lead the conquest of the powerful Aztec Empire. Hernan Cortés was born in 1485 in Medellin, Spain. Some older sources list December as his birth month, but modern research, including the Noticonquista project by the National Autonomous University of Mexico, suggests it was more likely June. His full name was Hernan Cortés de Monroy y Pizarro Altamirano, and he was later granted the noble title First Marquis of the Valley of Oaxaca. But here's a historical twist: he never actually used the name Hernan. In official documents and his own signature, he called himself Hernando or Fernando, both traditional Spanish forms of Ferdinand. Even William H. Prescott, in his 1843 book The Conquest of Mexico, refers to him as Hernando Cortés. The shorter name Hernan only became common in later centuries, likely for simplicity, and that's how most of us know him today. For the rest of this video, we'll simply call him Cortés. He came from a family of minor nobility. His parents hoped he'd become a lawyer, but that life didn't appeal to him. At just 19, drawn by stories of riches and adventure, he set sail for the New World. Cortés landed in Hispaniola, modern-day Dominican Republic, then moved to Cuba, where he gained political influence under Governor Diego Velázquez. But Cortés wasn't content to remain second in command. In 1519, he defied Velázquez's orders and launched an unauthorized expedition to the Mexican mainland. With around 500 soldiers, 100 sailors, horses, cannons, and a few ships, he landed near present-day Veracruz. Then he made a bold move. He scuttled his ships, burned them, cutting off any route home. He began forging alliances with indigenous groups who opposed Aztec rule, most notably the Tlaxcalans. Along the way, he met a Nahua woman called La Malinche, who became his translator, cultural guide, political advisor, and later his wife. Some call her a traitor, others, a survivor. Either way, her role was pivotal. With a small Spanish force and thousands of indigenous allies, Cortés marched inland toward the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. Why would so many tribes support a foreign invader? It's because, according to history, the Aztec Empire wasn't a peaceful power. It was a dominant, militaristic state that demanded tribute, labor, and captives for human sacrifice. For many surrounding peoples, Cortés wasn't a villain, he was a means to break free from a brutal regime. When the Spaniards reached the capital, Emperor Moctezuma II welcomed them, perhaps believing they were divine, or simply hedging his bets. But the uneasy peace collapsed. Cortés took Moctezuma hostage in an attempt to control the empire through him. The city soon erupted into violence, and in 1520, Cortés and his men were forced to flee during the infamous Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows. Many Spaniards and allies died. But Cortés wasn't finished. After regrouping in Tlaxcala, Cortés returned to Tenochtitlan with reinforcements. This time, his army included tens of thousands of native allies. In 1521, he laid siege to the Aztec capital. For 3 brutal months, the city endured starvation, disease, and constant fighting. When Tenochtitlan finally fell, it marked the end of the Aztec Empire. Cortés claimed the territory for Spain and began building Mexico City atop the ruins. To the Aztecs, he was a destroyer. But to many of their former subjects, he was the one who broke their chains. Take that as you will. Cortés was made governor of New Spain, but his power didn't last. Accused of corruption, he was recalled to Spain. He spent his final years tied up in legal battles, largely ignored by the crown. He died in 1547, aged 62, no longer the hero he once was to the Spanish court. But history didn't forget him. Today, Cortés remains one of the most polarizing figures of the age of exploration. A master strategist to some, a ruthless colonizer to others. His legacy, complicated and still debated. Hernán Cortés is one of the most well-known Spanish conquistadors in world history, and one of the most divisive. He wasn't just a soldier. He was a strategist, a diplomat, and a master manipulator of opportunity. What set him apart was his ability to forge powerful alliances with indigenous peoples who had suffered under Aztec rule. Without those alliances, the conquest would almost certainly have failed. Yet, the same man who brought down the Aztec Empire also helped establish a colonial system that would exploit and suppress many of those same allies. Historians still wrestle with the contradictions. Was he a military genius, a ruthless opportunist, or a tool of empire? His legacy sits at the intersection of liberation and conquest, faith and ambition, strategy and destruction. It's complicated, because history often is. From a small village in Spain to the fall of an empire, the story of Hernán Cortés isn't just about one man, it's about power, belief, betrayal, and change. However you interpret it, his impact on the world was irreversible. What's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear how you see Hernán Cortés. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more deep dives, and ring that bell so you never miss what's next.